So, very good afternoon, all the student. I hope I'm audible. Okay. So, a very good afternoon. So, today's service marketing lecture is all about our third topic. The topic name is managing consumer behavior and service quality. In last lectures, we completed our first and second topic. First is service marketing and insight into emerging sector of economy, and second is the role of process people and physical evidence in service marketing. And in today's lecture, we start our third unit, that is managing consumer behavior and service quality. Okay, so basically in that, first we discuss what is meant by consumer behavior. Okay, so consumer behavior is the process and activities the people engage in when searching for selecting, purchasing, using, evaluating, and disposing of product and services so as to satisfy their need and desire. Okay, so what is meant by consumer behavior? So, consumer behavior is also termed as a consumer buying behavior. Okay, so basically it is end user behavior or a buyer behavior. Broadly, it is decision making process of individual to allocate their potential product and services, or allocate their potential resources like time, effort, and money of a service consumption purpose. So, according to the Welch, the consumer behavior is the process and activities people engage in when searching for, selecting, purchasing, using, evaluating, and disposing of a product and services so as to satisfy their needs and desire. So, consumer behavior is the process where the people is engaged. When people engage, when they're searching for the purchasing, using, disposing, and the desire of to satisfy the product and services, okay, to satisfy their needs, is nothing but the consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is also termed as a consumer buying behavior. Okay, so next is the 5 C's of service marketing. So, what is meant by 5 C's of service marketing? So, marketing 5 C's is a technique, is a based on situation analysis, which is widely used to assess the marketer in marketing, so better decision for a business. So, for a better decision making or for a business, this 5 C technique is mainly used. So, what is meant by 5 C? So, 5 C is nothing but the 5C is nothing but the company, competitor, collaborator, climate, and customers. So, company, collaborator, competitor, uh, climate, and customer. So, in brief, the 5C analysis help to marketer to identify the important factor which is faced by business, and it is equivalent to the health checkup, and analysis help to business in focusing on important part and identifying the strength and weakness of a making better and profitable decision. So 5 C's are, uh, as I told you, company, competitor, collaborator, climate, and customer. So these 5 C's are help to identify the important factor of a business. So it is equivalent to both health checkup in this analysis. Uh, it helps to business for focusing on important part and to identify the strength and weaknesses, which is making better and profitable decision process. Uh, okay, so in that, sorry, first one is a company. So, analyzing of the company, which is using a 5C situational model, help to identify the sustainable competitive advantages of a focal company, such as technological development, economies of a scale, brand equity, etc. So, Vero model, that is variable, rare, imitable, organized. It helped to identify whether the assets of a focal company fall into the category of sustainable competitive advantages. It helps in identifying the whether assets of a company can give sustainable or a temporary advantages to the overall model of a business. Second is to understand the customers. So basically, in this understanding of a customers, the company which is product and service is reachable to the potential customer group mainly with the three sides, that is serviceable available market, target market, and the total available market. So the market segment can be segmented on the basis of demography, geography, psychographics, and other distinct factor. So in competitor, it is important to analyze the competitor to understand the external environment of the company. Analyzing this help to knowing strength, weakness, market share, positioning, and upcoming initiative of the competitor. By knowing this, a company can have a huge advantages, and if marketers know the real opponent, they can be compared with them in an effective manner. So in collaborating services, marketer in this section list every service partner that their company is associated with. It acts as a phone book or telephone directory of the company. For example, in case of a delivery person is running late with his order, uh, with his order, then the marketer can go through the collaborator list in order to identify who can resolve this issue. Okay, so marketer have a detail of each collaborator, the primary contact person with their phone number, mail ID, and other detail. Okay, so uh, the every service partner of their company which associated with the act of phone book and telephonic directory of the company. In that means basically they are collaborate with each other after providing of services. The last one is a climate. So climate analysis can be done by the priest analysis divided among the four category. In that, first one is a political. So in political factor, there may be a law, order, and intervention which is made by the government in order to regulate the business. Also, the regulation influence the operation of a business, which is significant way of a government which is introduce a new rule, taxes, and a terrific or on the industries which affect the costing strategy. The government sets standard as per which organization produce the good and services, also control the type of good and service to be produced. So next is the economic factor. In economic factor, the economic factor are the current and the past pattern that exist in the country. These factors encompass the rate of economic growth, inflation, exchange rate, average income, etc., which heavily influence the money circulation and hence regulate the business activity. Social factor. The social factor include all those factors that are related to the general public. These factors are closely knitted with the consumption by the public, which influence the gross demand of a product and service. These factors involve the rate of population growth, literacy rate, and employment public safe. Last one is technological factor. The technological factor are one of the prime factor which affect the business operation in a dynamic business environment. And these factors involve the arrival of a new technology in the market, automation of a business processes, research and development project. So it's nothing but the 5C: company, then competitor, collaborator, climate, and customers. Okay. So next part is the nature of a consumer behavior in a services. So in that first one is a paying after performance of a service. Then disposition is a minor. Then degree of intangibility and evaluation occur simultaneously. So first is the paying after performance of services. So, in case of this type of service, the term buying cannot use precisely because in the case of a physical good, the process of exchange money with a good can be termed as a buying, but such kind of transfer happen before the actual consumption of the product. But when we talk about the services, the payment will be made either before or after. So before means in air travel, in insurance, or in movie to buying a movie ticket, buying a insurance, it's before payment activity. Okay, and after payment activity means in hotel and amenities. Okay, that we consume. So basically, this utilization of a services. In fact, if there are many service consumption, services, which due to all these factors are the most accurate word which can be used to explain the first step of a consumption will be a choice in place of a buying. Okay, so these are type of so these is type of paying after performance services. Next is a disposition in minor. So, in case of a services, the term disposition is a different concept. This can be easily understood by highlighting the most basic and a vital difference which exists between the goods and service. The pure services are characterized to be as a perfectly intangible. The feature of intangibility created the problem as whenever we think about disposition, getting rid of solid waste comes into mind immediately. Thus, disposition is not possible with any pure services due to non-availability of any physical or tangible features. Third one is a degree of intangibility. While evaluating a service, the extent of intangibility can be seen as one of the important aspects. A greater personalized evaluation process can be expected from the customers in case of a greater intangibility association with the service, and it will be more dynamic in comparison to a service good. And last one is evaluation of occur simultaneously. So in that, in case of a service, the evaluation behavior is observed continuously in a consumer behavior, but there are some stages in consumer behavior where the evaluation becomes most conscious or silent. The various selection choices are used to determine the evaluation stages. The difference behavior are presented by the variable. In case of service, due to intangibility, these behavior are also used as a triggering cue during the various evaluation stages. Last is the factor influencing consumer behavior. So there are five type of factor which influence the consumer behavior. First is the culture, then subculture, social class, reference group, and family. So first is the culture. So it is culture is a form by the different norm, value, role, and viewpoint of a particular group of people. So these value and attitude of a people belonging to the certain place and their consumer behavior, which is gently affected by the culture by the location, that it is very important for the marketing manager to have a good knowledge of a culture of those places where they are aiming to market their services. For example, American culture is quite lucrative for the firm which are offering dating services but cannot be a successful business in Indian culture. So the cultural factor mainly affected during the consumer buying behavior. Next one is the subculture. So this can be understood as a smaller portion having a similar norm, behavior pattern, or a value in a certain society which distinguish them from a main culture. So constituent of a subculture are lifestyle, age, race, ethnicity, religious, geography. In India, we can find North India restaurant in South India so that they can fulfill their eating habits of a North Indian people who reside the southern part of the company. Um, Next is the social class. So in a social class, it is include all those individuals who have similar lifestyle norms, value, behavior, and opinion. The market segmented can be obtained on the basis of similarities in belief. In the similarity, it has a greater influence of the shopping pattern of individual. Therefore, different products and services are marketed on the basis of social class customer. For example, the five-star hotels such as the uh, Sheraton, the Hyatt, and a Taj Group targeted on a customer belonging to the high income group or elite class. Next is a reference group. So, in a reference group, the action, opinion, and a judgment of an individual depend on a prospection of his or her reference group. To use of a reference group in the development of advertisement is quite common by combining the references group with some certain type of product, services, of a certain behavior. For example, Sahara Group of India utilize the popularity of Indian cricket team in their advertisement. Next and last one is a family. So most of the time, the purchase decision are not taken by a single individual, but in fact, there are a number of family person who have decisive position to buying decision. That it is very important for the marketer to have the clear understanding of how these different individuals have the power of influencing the buying decisions so that they can target it with the help of their marketing messages. So these are basically five important factors which influence the consumer buying behavior for its culture, then subculture, then social class, reference group, and family. So next is the stages of a service consumption. So there are three stage: pre-purchase stage, service encounter stage, and post-purchase stage. And there are type of problem recognition. In that, for is a routine problem, emergency problem, planning problem, and evolving problem or evolving situations. So in stage of service consumption, the consumer decision making process basically having a three step. First is a pre-purchase stage. In a pre-purchase stage, the decision regarding buying of a certain services is taken. So in this stage, the most vital element are the individual need and expectations as they decided to the various alternative which can be considered by the customers. Thus, the next is a problem recognitions. So in problem recognition, a problem or a need is recognized when a customer identifies the significant gap between the desire and the actual state of product or services, which is enough to provoke the process of a decision making. The actual stage means that the process by which need of already being satisfied, where the desired state mean the process by which individual want his demand to be fulfilled. The last one is the type of problem recognitions. In first one is a routine problem. So routine problem are those problem where some gap is likely to be found between the actual state and the desired state. The customer are generally want to satisfy their problem immediately by the convenience good like a sugar, coffee, tomato ketchup. There are some examples. Okay. Next is emergency problem. So in emergency problem, this type of problem may be often um, unanticipated by the customers and it require a prompt solution. For example, the businessman find that the display of his laptop is broken, so the display of a laptop is needed to be replaced immediately in order to avoid um, any kind of misunderstanding or any kind of hindrance in a working in a businessman. A third one is planning problem. So in planning problem, the problem which are expected to occur but there is a no immediate requirement for their solution. It's known as a planning problem. Example are the person who facing some problem in a functioning of his mobile phone, but still he can work with that. So he may start looking for the various alternative brand of mobile phone or paying attention toward the advertisement of a mobile phone. Okay, so these type of problem comes under the planning problem. Next is evolving solution. In evolving solution, these are situation in which unexpected problem occur but the immediate solution is not necessary. Fashionable product can be seen as one of the example of a evolving situation. A person may be aware of changing fashion, but still he does not react to new fashion style now, and it may be adopt them in future. So this type of problem maybe arises. So in today's lecture, we discuss what is in the consumer behavior or consumer buying behavior, the 5C of a service marketing, then the nature of a consumer behavior in a services, then the factor which influence the consumer behavior, the stages of a service consumption, and the type of problem recognition. So I hope all the marketing specialization student will understand today's topic. In next lecture, okay, we discuss the search information, then through moment of a truth or service encounter means the second or third stage of One sec. Okay, service encounter stage and post purchase stage. So, stage of a service consumption. The first stage we discuss in today's lecture, like a pre purchase stage, and in next lecture we explain or we detail study in a service encounter stage and post purchase stage. So, thank you so much, student, for today's session. Thank you so much.